Welcome back to another game reaction. The Cleveland Browns in week 13 of the NFL season. They lose a tough one out in LA to the Rams. Final score 19-36 in favor of LA. That final score not really giving away how close this game was for the majority of it, but in the end it did get away from the Browns quite a bit. The Rams taking control in the fourth quarter of this one for a variety of reasons. I think reason number one was that the elite defense that we've gotten used to seeing over this season really didn't show up all that much today. The Rams offense definitely having a very productive day in pretty much in all facets, whether it was over the air. That Puka Nacua touchdown pass from Stafford was a thing of beauty. That was a great pass from Stafford, and Nacua showing off the speed there. And on the ground too, the Rams seem to have a decent day as well. Those wide receiver reverses to Nacua, those end arounds were working pretty well, and that success they were having was definitely throwing the Browns off a little bit in the running games, where sometimes they would give it to him off of the motion. They had another one that worked pretty well, but the Browns got kind of bailed out by a holding penalty that killing that drive for the Rams. But just in general, that motion with their receivers definitely making the Browns think probably a little bit too much before the play, and they would get success off of that. Not enough times for the Cleveland offense to really go on any sustained runs, with the Rams offense kind of matching and surpassing the Browns in points, obviously. Anytime the offense would get a score or start to cut into that second half deficit, start to build some good momentum, the Rams offense would almost always come out and pretty much respond with points of their own. And the one time that a defensive stop could have led to the Browns getting the lead off of a drive, that was when Joe Flacco had probably his worst moment of the game. That interception was definitely a desperation heave in sort of a non-desperate situation. They were only down 1 point, still plenty of game time left. And of course, that interception had to be thrown to John Johnson as well, the Browns safety a couple of years ago. Didn't work out necessarily. No ill will towards John Johnson, of course, but it's just never fun to see former players have success against your favorite team. Kind of stings all that much more. But the one silver lining, I know I just mentioned Joe Flacco's interception, but the silver lining that I actually have from this game was that I do feel a lot better about Joe Flacco being potentially the starting quarterback moving forward. Before this game, I didn't really think Flacco would have had a lot to offer besides just being perhaps a steady, safe, boring veteran quarterback. And I thought, if the Browns are going to go anywhere this season, it would rely on DTR having a high ceiling and then tapping into that ceiling this year. But honestly, Joe Flacco looked really good for some stretches of this game. The 2 touchdown drives especially, where it wasn't just, the ground game getting him to like the 5-yard line, and he capitalizes with a touchdown pass. Joe Flacco made some pretty impressive throws and for the most part kept the ball safe. But again, that one interception, definitely not a good moment for him. But the start of the second half, pretty much the best stretch of football that the team had all game, where they come out of the locker room down 13-10. Kind of lucky to not be down 16-10, as the Rams did miss a field goal, kind of 43-yarder in this one. But they come out of the locker room down 13-10. They get a stop, kick a field goal to tie the game on offense. Then the defense does give up a touchdown drive to the Rams. Not a good look, but the response from the offense was pretty encouraging, where you have Flacco moving the squad down the field. Harrison Bryant schemed open for Joe Flacco's second touchdown pass of the game, making it 20-19. But then the ultimate of bad omens, Dustin Hopkins missing the extra point, definitely kind of threw the rest of the game off kilter, as the Browns would not put any more points up on the board. It's not all the fault of Dustin Hopkins, of course, but when you have an opportunity to tie it and you miss that extra point, it does kind of sour things a little bit moving forward. And Dustin Hopkins, he's had a great season. He's only missed 2 extra points, but the extra points that he has missed have been at crucial times. Against the Ravens, he was able to redeem himself, and I think he described himself as an arsonist who was congratulated for putting out his own fire. That's pretty funny, but in this one, didn't get the same chance. Again, not immediately realized, as the defense did get another stop. The offense did get a chance to take the field and go out there and not need Dustin Hopkins to make any sort of kick to take the lead. But that is when the Flacco interception happened. The Rams would turn that short field into a touchdown to go up by 8, 27-19. So there was still a chance for the Browns to potentially score a touchdown and go for 2 and tie it. But before that drive could really get going, late in the fourth quarter, a 3rd and 1 was turned into a 3rd and 6 on what I thought was a pretty bad false start call. Stefanski having a bit of an odd conversation with the ref after that call, pretty much saying that, they talked, I think I saw on Twitter or X, whatever, some Browns reporters saying that Stefanski was saying to the ref that they were talking about this before the game and what are you doing? I have no idea what that could mean. I haven't seen any of the post-game quotes, so maybe something post-game would clear that up. But it's still up to the offense to convert on a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. Couldn't do it on 3rd or 4th down. Rams got it deep again in Cleveland territory. They scored another touchdown and got a garbage time safety for the cherry on top as well. And this one wasn't even a scoregami. At least a loss against the Broncos. Okay, fine, we contributed to a scoregami. This was the second time that a 19-36 score has happened. So not a scoregami, but still a pretty rare score nonetheless. The injuries keep coming on as well for Cleveland. You have Amari Cooper taken off with a head injury. He did not return to the game. Hopefully it's not a multi-week thing, but with the way the Browns are dealing with injuries right now, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being that. The receivers have to catch the ball better too, as the drops are not helping this team. I think I saw on the broadcast that the Browns have the highest drop percentage in the NFL right now. I didn't listen to the broadcast. I had it on mute because I could not stand a second straight week of Kevin Kugler and Mark Sanchez, so I did not hear all of their dumb spewings, but I did hear that I saw on social media that apparently they said that Martin Emerson was in because Denzel Ward was hurt, which is not true. Martin Emerson just starts no matter what. That was Mike Ford Jr. who was on the field for most of the defensive snaps because of Denzel Ward. These guys, you covered the same team for 2 weeks in a row and you still have not bothered to learn about the makeup of their roster, but whatever. I am seeing Kevin Stefanski get some grief over this game. I honestly thought he called a decent game in this one. I don't have much complaints about Kevin Stefanski. I mean, the challenge call late, obviously that was not going to work. That was pretty obviously a catch. But honestly, I just think he wanted to vent a bit more about the frustrations over the false start call a bit more. I think he was still chastising them about the false start, which I don't blame him. It was a terrible call in a bad time. But again, the offense's job is still to convert, even if they're put in a tougher situation. And I don't think you want to start really making enemies with some of these officiating crews. You got to think about your long-term referee karma for this one. Tough loss to take, definitely, as they have a really good a really good Jaguars team to play next week. And I was going to mention that the Steelers lost, so the Browns could have moved up a spot in the AFC North and kept some sort of pace with the Ravens, but instead it looks like Baltimore is going to be essentially running away with the division, as Cincinnati's hopeless. The Steelers and the Browns, they didn't do anything to catch up to the Ravens. This bye week is going just about as good for Baltimore as they could have hoped. So now the Browns just have to worry about keeping their wild card spot, and that could get prickly in the next couple of weeks if they aren't able to rebound against Jacksonville from this bad West Coast trip. But that's about it for me for this one. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you all for watching. If you didn't make it this far into it, you can leave me a comment down in the comment section below if you have any thoughts about this game that you think I didn't mention or you'd like to further expand upon. You can do so if you'd like. Once again, thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed the video and you'd like to see more like it. And I'll see you at the next one.